Hi there, I'm Petar and this is PetarSmiljana Qigong channel. First, I would like to remind you to subscribe down below so we can get enough subscribers to rename our Qigong, to rename our channel into our channel PetarSmiljana Qigong. We need subscribers, please subscribe. Today I would like to talk about what is this 36 rotations in one direction and 24 rotation in other direction. Well, today's theme is about lower Dan Tian. Lower Dan Tian is a center that is placed down in the lower abdomen below a navel. Lower Dan Tian is an energetic center which is central in Qigong practice. Qigong practitioners usually start to cultivate it already in the beginning. So when me and Smiljana teach Qigong, we usually start to teach our student about this lower Dan Tian already in the first classes. With attention on lower Dan Tian, you start to practice your Qigong, and you also finish your practice. In Qigong practice and in internal martial arts, we use this center for building, storing, and transmuting Qi energy. The main function of lower Dan Tian is actually nourishing all the energy system. Since it is the best reservoir for the energy, it is also the best nourisher of the energy system. Lower Dan Tian represents center for balance. Since the lower Dan Tian is placed down in the lower abdomen, it is also connected with physical tissues and organs. So if you have problems with urogenital organs or with tissues that are down in the lower Dan Tian, there might be a problem also with energetic level of lower Dan Tian. So you should consider that. Usually we feel lower Dan Tian as a condensation of energy in this lower part of the abdomen. But to feel this Qi energy or lower Dan Tian, we need to be in the perceiving, or in the alpha, at least like alpha state. So if you have any doubts, or if you are doubtful about energy or energy system, or even energy centers like lower Dan Tian is, you might not perceive anything. So if you would like to cultivate this center, you need to be in perceiving mode. You just need to allow it. So what is our purpose about teaching about this lower Dan Tian center? Well, first of all, me and Smiljana teach our students about this lower Dan Tian to use it in everyday life, not just during the practice and in the beginning and at the end, because you can use it also in as a relaxation center. As for example, you come home after a long day. You put your hands on lower abdomen. You put your mind down below into your lower Dan Tian. You breathe and you transform all that negative energy that was placed on you on this day. So you relax yourself, you transmute your energy, and you feel like renewed. My teacher of Qigong, Milan Vidmar, once told me, so Petar, when you are in the lower Dan Tian and you decide to do something or to go somewhere, you will definitely you will definitely do it, or go to the end. And what he meant to say is that if you're in a lower Dantian, your focus and your will is so powerful and so concentrated, like it becomes like a little pinpoint if you practice it. So in the beginning we feel this lower Dantian as a ball of energy or an egg of energy, but then during the years and of practice we start to cultivate it into a little point in your lower Dantian, which is connected also with upper Dantian. When we practice Qigong, we accelerate Qi flow, and our brain activity frequency lowers. Our left and right hemisphere balances, and we start to generate more Qi. At the end of the practice, we usually perform gathering exercise, which is set of exercises that we do, and then we sit down, we put our hands on a lower Dantian, and we when we know how to do it and we know how to feel it, I mean when we feel it, so when we have a mind on our lower Dantian, then we gather it and we rotate our lower Dantian 36 times in the right direction and 24 times in left direction for women, and 36 times in left and 24 times on the right, and we finish, and that's it for today. Thank you. May the Qi be with you.